when you're dealing with the side pots, I always try to look at the stacks to see who has the bigger stacks of the ones, because if that big stack somehow wins everything and you know it, then it's a lot easier to push everything, because then you can you already know that they got everyone covered and you can take all the stacks and push them into that one player. Mm-hmm. Now, whenever I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the players have, once I'm counting them down, I'll separate them like this with the bigger chips. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, so then I bring them down like this. That one's not going to match up. This is basically checking your chips, casino style. So I know there's 100 here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 5, right? Mm-hmm. Same with this. Okay, so I know this is my other big stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 75. Okay, so there's my 505 right there. So I know this player has this player's covered, and this player as well, because they don't have that many chips, bigger chips in front of them. So that's about 400. That's about 300.
So you're just basically trying to match it?
Right, you're matching them up. So that way, when you're on the showdown, if the player with the biggest stack has already tabled their hand and you know that they won, you can call the other hands and pull all the chips in and push them to them. Okay? But so basically, it helps you to where when you're doing the side pots, if you don't have to do the side pot, you don't have to do it that way. But it's going to happen to where you're going to have to do the side pots. But when you have freak all in activity like this, you more often than not, the player that has all the chips, if they're in there, there's a good chance they have a really good hand, and they're not, like I said, they're not going to want to waste and just give away those chips for nothing. Yeah. But basically what we're going to do right now is we're going to take one of the hands and we're going to go all in. So that way I can show you how everything works. Okay, so everybody's all in, no matter what. Everyone's like, let's just throw all of our chips in the middle and go from there. So, okay, so shits and giggles. Okay, basically, I already knew that they have 505. I kind of cheated, right? Okay. Hold on, everyone's all in. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 30, 240 right here. Okay. 3, 400 right on the dot. Okay. 4, 2, 3, 400 on the dot here. Okay. 4. There's 5. 585. Okay. There's 2. 50. Okay, so I have 345. Okay, 345. Okay, so here's how I'm doing everything. Okay, so I'm taking the least stack that is in all these. Okay, and what would be the least amount? Right here. For the 240, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got my 240 right here, bringing it in. Okay, 230, 240 right here, 230, 240 right here. Okay, I'm leaving all this on the side. 230, 240. Right here, 230, 240, right there, 225, 230, 240 right there. Okay, so here is my main pot, okay? Here's the first pot. So then I go to the next person, right? Who has the next lowest stack, okay? Which will be right down here, okay? This might take a minute, and players understand that when you have a freak hand like this, when they're going all in, because they know you got to count everything out and you're trying to do everything correct. So there's 105, okay? So after everyone goes all in, it kind of smooths out at this point, and this is what I do to remember who's all in. The main thing is remembering that this guy was the number one for the main pot. The rest of the pots, I could put in front of the players that went all in that everyone was calling, because then it tells me who's all in what pot. So this person, like I said, was in for the 105, right? Okay, so the 105, I take 105 from here, put it right here. 105, put it right here. 105, right here. 105, right here. So that way then, this player and all the other players are in for this pot. This player is all in for this pot. You see where this is going? So then next, I'm sizing up, which we're lucky right here that these two match up, okay? Because they both had the 400. So this is 55, okay? So here's what you're going to do to remember them, okay? So they both have 55. So what am I going to do since they both have 55? I'm going to take 55 from these two. Correct. 55 and 55. So then I have this side pot with them all in, right? So I put it in the middle of them because that tells me that these two are both in it, okay? Because I'm putting the pots in where between the players so I can remember who has what. So then I have my last pot, my last side pot I have to make straight. So out of these two, obviously, this person has less chips, right? So that's 105, okay? 105. So I'll take his 105. Now, that makes him all in for that, okay? So, since this is extra, they would bring this back, and you give this back to them and tell them that everything is covered and that they're all in. And then this is what I would do after everything is done. The players do not have to table their hands, but there has to be a tabled hand in order to win these hands. And I'm going to explain to you how you go about the side pots of how you push them and how you do the hands, so that way there's no confusion, okay? So this is what you do, okay? So I say, okay, I have 6 players, everyone's all in, okay? I have these 2 for this pot, and this pot, and this pot, and this pot. I have these 2 in for this one, this one, this one, and this one. Or for this one, and this one. These 2 are on this side. And then I have this guy, he's in for this one and this one. And you are all in for this one. Does this make sense? Because you have to announce it so that way the players understands what's going on. Because verbal, as a dealer, is also, you know, a very big thing because players listen to you. Now just run it out. Run it out. Okay, now, I have no muck. But I got everything down. So basically, here's how I'm going to start on who does what, okay? So I take the last side pot. The last ones are the 2 guys with the most money. I say, show me a winner. Here's why. It's going to make things a lot easier. King, deuce, 3, 5. Okay, this gentleman has a straight flush. It is going to be very hard to beat that hand, which is a very good hand. I'm pretty positive everyone is going to lose this hand. But we take this hand and we muck it. We leave this hand tabled. We push this over here. Okay. Now, the next hand that was in order before I go to this one was these 2. So I'm going to tell these 2 to turn their hands over. They're going to turn them over, and yes, there's no way they're going to beat them. That hand, kill that hand, push the pot over here, and then I explain to these 2, it's their showdown time. He turns his hand over. He has 5, 6. He has a straight, but it's not good enough to beat a straight flush. So then, kill that. Bring it all the way over here. Then boom, show me y'all's hands. Y'all showdown. You throw your hand over, you got a flush too, but he has a straight flush. I kill your hand. Pull this out, since I know who's won the hand, and push the pot. That's how you handle the side pots. And that is it on the side pots.
Okay.